We're playing well in matches. I haven't been thrilled with the practice gym, to be honest, this week. So, but today's another day, and we're trying to get them prepared for obviously Friday's match. And, just it's a little weird, when you try to get to this point in the season for me that, I'm trying to manage how much we've been in the gym to try to make sure we're fresh to still getting stuff accomplished, that maybe we struggled with on the weekend. And I think that's, there's a fine line there. And, I think we're trying to toe that line as much as we can and, either go shorter or not go and try to keep them ready to go. Obviously, we play only once this weekend on Friday. So, but, obviously we've put ourselves match-wise, if you look at our record, in a really good position. So, we're aware of that and, we're ready to go on Friday.
Well, let's talk about Friday. What do you need to do?
Yeah, well, we're going to need to be better than we were the last time we played them. We served the ball against them really well, I thought. If you look at the aces. Now, we didn't get them off the net as much as we probably would have liked to, and, that was, just watch the first 6 points of the game from the first set. They set their middle, and she just bounced it. So, I think our assignments, we were a little off, to start that match, unfortunately, and they made us pay. And, there's a reason why they're, leading the league in kills per set and all of these things because they're awfully offensive. The good news is, they haven't handled the ball as well as they did against us this past weekend. So, we'll see if we can get them in trouble like, Southern and Central did this past weekend. And, hopefully they won't have as many options. They're in a 6-2 like we are. They've got 3 front row players. Obviously, they've got, look at the hitting efficiencies of who's leading the conference. They've got several of those kids. So, we're going to have a plan to hopefully, not allow them to, hit 500, against us. So, but, I'm just excited. Who would have, thought at this point in the season, Emporia State and, the friends up the road, would be both, sitting at 8-1 and, playing for first place. How awesome, and I just try to remind our team, we've earned that right. There's a little buzz around this weekend. I'm not going to pay a ton of attention. We try to take it one match at a time is always my deal. And, I'm more concerned that this starts, a 5-game road swing for us. And, but that's my job. I'm the one that should be looking down the road and, try to get the players just focused on. It's just another match we play on Friday. We only got one this week, and it happens to be, against our travel partner. And, they happen to be 8-1 just like we are. And obviously you guys will create more of a buzz, around the match than we will. But we're excited, and I think, you saw what the girls did after we didn't play very well against them. We turned around and played really well that weekend and obviously beat Kearney. And I think that they've got it in their head that, we need to be a little cleaner and probably a little bit more prepared than we were for the last one and be on our assignments. And I feel like they're well aware of that, and I trust they're going to be ready to go tomorrow.